When you silence a country's journalists, you silence its people. So there's a direct link between democracy and media and the state of media. When you start taking away the media's freedom, you start taking away the people's freedom.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम एंड वेलकम टू एन एपिसोड ऑफ द पिल डैड पॉडकास्ट। आज हमारे साथ एक बहुत स्पेशल गेस्ट हैं। शी इज़ एन अवार्ड विनिंग जर्नलिस्ट, शी इज़ द एडिटर ऑफ जियो फैक्ट चेक एंड एन एनालिस्ट ऑन रिपोर्ट कार्ड। आई एम वेरी प्लीज टू वेलकम बेनज़ीर शाह। थैंक यू फॉर बीइंग हियर बेनज़ीर।
Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you. I want to kind of start the conversation with your own personal journey. आप कैसे जर्नलिज्म की तरफ आए? How did you become a सहाफ़ी?
You can call me a bit of an accidental journalist. Actually, a lot of us in the media are quite accidental journalists because generally इस profession को as such इतनी importance अहमियत नहीं दी जाती. कोई नहीं कहता अपने बच्चों को कि आपने आगे जाके सहाफ़ी बनना है. Even though it's a very very important role. मेरा बचपन से, because my father was always somebody जो हमने देखा बचपन से, a lot of your fathers I'm sure also used to wake up in the morning और अखबार पढ़ते थे और अपने साथ कॉफ़ी पीते थे, तो I also got into reading the newspaper and it initially started off with my father saying कि अखबार पढ़ा करो, grammar बेहतर होगी, English बेहतर होगी, and from that it became into a natural habit. And it eventually I just kind of got into it. I was supposed to be doing fine arts, and I started off at NCA, and then eventually this was something I was passionate about. I was constantly going back to it, and I thought, why not just pursue it? Initially when I got into it, a lot of people told me कि इसमें कोई पैसे नहीं है, कोई पैसे नहीं बनेंगे और कुछ नहीं होगा, आगे कोई growth नहीं है, what's the point? But eventually it just kind of worked
That's
out.
what happens in, like, I feel like in anything related to politics, policy, any kind of public field. Even when I got interested in all this like research or policy work or journalism even, it's always like बस आपको या तो गालियाँ पड़ेंगी, आप गंदे होगे, कोई फायदा भी नहीं होगा, कुछ change नहीं होगा. How do you kind of fight that pessimism?
You know, with journalism, it is vilified a lot as well. And it has been for the last many decades. Journalists are viewed as ये तो बिक जाएंगे, ये तो बस प्रो गवर्नमेंट है, या ये सियासी जमात के साथ अलाइंड है, या सियासी जमात के साथ अलाइंड है. And there are also very few women in this media industry. There still are. That demographic has not hugely changed from when I started off, which was 15 years ago. So it was vilified a lot, and initially when I started, there were very few women in the newsroom. Print mein thi, you had editors that were women, but in the media and the television conventional side, they were not. But I'm very proud to say, you know, women have really made a mark. They're fearless. A lot of these women journalists that I see, these reporters, now you have editors, now you have executive producers, that number still needs to increase. But it's changing, and I really hope that more and more people come into this profession because it is a public service. It's a very, very important part of your democratic system. There's no other way around it. There's no alternative to good media.
That's very true. And like you said, women are still kind of underrepresented in the media. Yeah, and sometimes we see them also being tokenized, I feel, in the sense that often you see this format ke there's like, you know, an experienced older male journalist or analyst and a young woman unka interview kar rahi hoti hai. That setup also is a little,
and
to me it bothers me. Yeah,
it's still, I'm very lucky actually to be part of a new news organization like Jio, jahan pe unhone, they pushed us. I was very uncomfortable initially because हमने कभी देखा ही नहीं है कि बहुत ज़्यादा ख़वातीन जो है बैठ के उनसे पूछा जा रहा है आप अपनी राय बताएं. ऐसा होता ही नहीं था. So there was a lot of push from my organization. I'm very lucky in that sense that more women need to come on screen. They need to be analysts. They need to be commentators. One of the first few people that started was Reema Umar, who's a legal expert, and then more women came. And I was I'll be very honest, very underconfident when I initially came. I was like, who would want to listen to me? Why would people want to listen to me? A woman giving her analysis on politics? Because generally हमें कैटेगराइज भी किया जाता है ना खवातीन को जो मीडिया में है कि ये जो, एंड ये अभी तक है, बाय द वे, इट्स नॉट लार्जली चेंज्ड. फीमेल रिपोर्टर्स आर स्टिल टोल्ड कि आप बीट ले लें वुमेन्स राइट. चिल्ड्रंस राइट, आप हेल्थ ले लें, एजुकेशन ले लें, वो जो लाइट टॉपिक्स हैं वो ले लें, पॉलिटिकल बीट, क्राइम रिपोर्टिंग जो है वो अभी भी मर्द जो है और जो मेल रिपोर्टर्स हैं वो करेंगे. And even to this day, you know, sometimes even though I've been on TV for over 4 years and I've been in the media for 15 years, I've been reporting for a really long time. Even to this day, sometimes I still get calls by saying कि आप आ जाएं हमारे प्रोग्राम पे, हम women's rights पे बात कर रहे हैं. मैंने कहा ठीक है, तो फिर और कोई टॉपिक नहीं है जिस पे औरतें बात कर सकती हैं. तो अभी भी it's a bit of a problem. Abhi bhi you don't see a lot of program. I mean, can you count the number of programs that are hosted by women journalists? There are very few. I think I can count them in one hand.
Yeah.
Very, very few. And analysts, female analysts, तो मेरे ख्याल से उससे भी कम है. And it's very tragic. If you look at these prime time shows, and I would recommend that you do this. You look at them and you go through their एक हफ्ते के या एक महीने का उनका ब्रॉडकास्ट ले लें. हर रोज हफ्ते में 5 दिन आता है, 6 दिन आते हैं प्रोग्राम. And note down how many times women have been invited as experts. And I will assure you it will be very few, less than maybe a dozen times. अभी भी यही पूछा जाता है कि हम इकोनॉमी पे बात कर रहे हैं, कौन है फीमेल इकोनॉमिस्ट जिनको हम बुला सकते हैं? बहुत हैं, आपको बस ढूंढने की जरूरत है. कौन है वो फीमेल लॉयर जिनको हम बुला सकते हैं? So that is still something that is there in the media.
And as a woman who's a journalist, do you feel like women are held to kind of a higher standard? They're critiqued more because you've also faced campaigns जहाँ पे आपको अटैक काइंड ऑफ किया गया ट्विटर पे, आपका अकाउंट भी हैक हो गया एक दफा. लाइक ये वाली जो एक मेंटालिटी है, आपको लगता है हम women we're harsher towards women journalists?
अच्छा, women before I talk about the social media trolling, generally they are held to a higher standard and they're critiqued about their physical appearance. And that really bothers me. And I remember एक बड़े senior analyst थे, मैं नाम नहीं लूँगी unfortunately, लेना चाहिए वैसे मुझे, वो TV पे थे, and this very very well spoken articulate woman was on TV and she was giving her opinion. And she was, I think, जैसे हम भी करते हैं, she pushed back her hair once or twice while she was talking. And he was messaging in groups and he was messaging on social media and he was saying ये औरतें टीवी पे आके बस अपने बालों को हाथ लगाती रहती हैं और comments देती हैं, उनको लोग serious ले. Very senior guy. And what I want to see is that how they dress, what they wear, how they talk is scrutinized. You know, if एक औरत आके अगर थोड़ा सा गुस्से में बात करे तो वो कहते हैं कि अग्रेसिव हो गई बहुत ज्यादा. बट मर्द तो हर वक्त टीवी पे आके गुस्से में अपने कमेंट्स देके, एनालिसिस देके चले जाते हैं. Nobody has any issue with that. But women are not supposed to be too emotional. Women are not supposed to be too aggressive. Women are not supposed to dress up this way. Women are not supposed to sit this way when they're on TV. They're not supposed to have hairstyle which is too excessive or makeup which is too much. So there's a lot of scrutiny.
And they're not happy. Either it's too much or it's too little. There's no like.
It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. I mean, I've actually had some female reporters come up to me, very senior ones as well. Who've said कि हमारे ज़माने में तो हम तो मेकअप भी नहीं करते थे और चले जाते थे, आप लोगों को तैयार होने का बहुत शौक है. What does that have to do with my profession?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the content or the reporting that I'm doing. So as far as online trolling is concerned, I think it's easier to target women, women in the media, because they're very few. And it is, and for a very long time, there was no sort of organized group where women can support each other. We were all working in our own fields, but there was no organization. Men have those organizations. You have press clubs, and then you have media organizations, and unki dostiyan bhi hoti hain. They support each other if one of them is being trolled. Women didn't have that. And it's easier also because they're very few in number, so it's easy to troll them, and it's easy to then silence them. And that is what was happening, which PTI की जब हुकूमत थी तो हम लोगों ने एक statement भी निकाली थी as women journalists, because we wanted to put it on the record that when the sort of abuse that we face is not just कि हमें गालियाँ दी जा रही हैं, it's gendered abuse. You get death and rape threats. Your private pictures, and that happened to me. The people took out pictures from my private Facebook account. I don't know how they got access to it, but they did, and they were circulated, which is why to this day I had to shut down my Facebook account, and I still don't use it. So, and I have to be careful about, you know, what I'm posting online, what I'm seeing online, and because there's so much scrutiny on what kind of a woman I am
Yeah.
rather than what kind of a journalist I am.
Does it ever like scare you that this could, you know, these attacks or whatever could escalate more? Yeah, like, you know, people finding abhi recently bhi I was seeing someone was saying कि मेरा address लोगों ने फैला दिया है और you know इस तरह की चीजें. Does it like scare you when you're doing your job?
As far as online trolling is concerned, yes, it is quite mentally taxing because there were times when मैं अपना account खोलती थी ट्विटर में ज़्यादातर ट्विटर इस्तेमाल करती हूँ and उसकी notifications जो थी वो भरी होती थी and it was very difficult for me to go through them. I mean आपको constantly जो है you're being critiqued. And you're being trolled and it was difficult for me, so मैंने फिर थोड़ी देर के लिए I shut down my Twitter account to detox from it. It's mentally taxing for you as well, but this is something that, and as far as being scared at the job, there are other things that also scare you. There is a lot of censorship, which is not just related to women journalists or male journalists, it's for all journalists. So there is always this fear because we've been seeing it. Journalists are being targeted for their tweets. They're being branded anti-state. They're being picked up. उनके बैंक अकाउंट्स फ्रीज किए जा रहे हैं, उन पे पीका के तहत केसेस किए जा रहे हैं. तो this is also something. Or sometimes you just picked up and you know, abducted for a report, a news report that you did that somebody didn't like. So that fear is always at the back of your mind, that how will this be received and what will happen.
And so going off what you just said, how do you describe the state of censorship in Pakistan right now? And like you said, आप 15 साल से इस फील्ड में काम कर रही हैं, तो पिछले 15 साल में has there been a linear kind of shift कि हम ज़्यादा सेंसर होते जा रहे हैं या there's been ups and downs? How do you see it?
The red lines keep increasing. I think देखो मीडिया पे सहाफ़ियों पे प्रेशर रहा है. I've been in the media 15 years, some people who have been in the media for 30 years. प्रेशर रहा है, censorship बढ़ती रहती है. What us journalists have been able to do is we've been able to navigate and we look for ways to navigate that censorship. अच्छा, अगर ये नहीं लिख सकते तो इसको ऐसे कर लेते हैं, शायद छप जाए. इसको ऐसे कर लेते हैं, शायद छप जाए. Because our primary responsibility is कि हमने वो मालूमात, वो facts आवाम तक पहुंचाने हैं. One tool that we have right now is social media. I know बहुत social media को भी vilify करती है ये हुकूमत because उनके control में नहीं है, लेकिन social media is such an important tool right now for journalists, honest journalism and good journalism. कि वो जो चीज़ जो पब्लिश नहीं हो सकती बिकॉज यहाँ से दबाव है तो वहाँ से दबाव है, वो अब आप सोशल मीडिया पे थ्रेड्स के जरिए, ट्वीट के जरिए यू कैन मेक श्योर दैट दैट इन्फॉर्मेशन गेट्स आउट. And stopping information in this day and age, and I really wish the government and the state understands that, is quite impossible. आप ट्विटर बंद कर देंगे तो वो मालूमात इंस्टाग्राम पे आ जाएगी, आप इंस्टाग्राम बंद कर देंगे तो फेसबुक पे आ जाएगा, यूट्यूब पे आ जाएगी. Somewhere or the other that information will get out. But I will say this. The red lines have always been there, लेकिन वो जो resistance थी जो हम माजी में देखते थे सहाफ़ियों के दरमियान, सहाफ़ी, सिविल सोसाइटी, वुकला से जो resistance आती थी इस censorship के खिलाफ, वो again this is my personal opinion, I mean you may disagree with me, but वो resistance अब मुझे नज़र नहीं आ रही. पहले हमसे आज़ादी हमारी छीनी जाती थी, अब ऐसा लग रहा है कि हम voluntarily अपनी आज़ादी जो है, कुछ सहाफ़ी voluntarily अपनी आज़ादी जो है वो दे रहे हैं हुकूमत को. And I think that is what is so problematic. That resistance that we saw, 26th Amendment, आपकी 26वीं आईनी तरमीम पास हुई, उस किस्म की resistance नहीं देखी हमने. एक polarization थी वुकला में भी, मीडिया में भी, कुछ उसके हक में थे, कुछ उसके खिलाफ थे. Nobody got together and resisted. ये आपकी पीका की तरमीम, there was so much polarization within the media which was so disappointing. क्योंकि कुछ सहाफ़ी जो थे वो कह रहे थे आप इसको मुकम्मल तौर पे रिपील करें, लेकिन कुछ सहाफ़ी थे जो हुकूमत के साथ बैठने के लिए भी तैयार थे. तो दैट रेजिस्टेंस I feel like is not there right now with the current setup, which is why it's easier for them to increase the red lines and make it harder for you to work. You know, just to give you an example, हम सहाफ़ी हैं, हमारा काम PR करना नहीं है. हमारा काम होता है to make sure कि आप सवाल पूछें, आप facts लेके जाएं. मेरी एक राय ये रही है कि हुकूमत चाहे कोई भी हो, मीडिया हर वक्त ऑपोजिशन में बैठती है। आपका काम नहीं है कि अगर वजीर आला पंजाब ने एक नए मंसूबे का ऐलान किया है तो आप फ्रंट पेज पे छाप दें कि नया मंसूबे का ऐलान हो गया है। आपका काम है कि आप जाके देखें कि उस मंसूबे में जो पैसे लगे हैं वो सही इस्तेमाल हो रहे हैं नहीं, क्या उस मंसूबे से रिलीफ मिल रहा है अवाम को या नहीं मिल रहा। आपका काम पीआर करना नहीं है हुकूमत के लिए, उनके लिए दर्जनों उनके तर्जुमान हैं, उनके प्रेस डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं, इंफॉर्मेशन डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं। आपका काम है सवाल पूछना, एंड आई थिंक दैट इज व्हाट्स लिटिल डिसअपॉइंटिंग this time around in the media.
But
you know,
how do you separate that when it seems like अगर आप कोई भी आजकल टीवी चैनल लगा लें, लगता है सारे एड्स तो गवर्नमेंट चला, so all the funding, really the ad revenue of newspapers, of electronic media is coming from the government. So how do you hold someone accountable that's kind of paying your bills?
That is a very important question. And मैं अक्सर मजाक भी उड़ाती हूँ अपने कुछ कॉलीग्स के साथ कि आजकल अखबारों में एड ज़्यादा होते हैं, कंटेंट कम होता है ऐसा लगता है। एंड आई थिंक दैट इज़ प्रॉब्लमैटिक बिकॉज हम लोगों जो, एंड आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द मीडिया इंडस्ट्री, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट शायद हम भूल गए हैं कि क्या होता है। ये मेरी राय है, it could be an extreme point of view, a lot of maybe journalists might not agree with it. I don't think that journalists should take funds from the government. I don't think journalists should take कि आप जाके कहें कि हमें प्लॉट दे दें, हमने घर बनाने हैं, या हमें endowment fund दे दें, या हमें medical insurance दे दें। ये आपका काम नहीं है, because and I think it's a huge conflict of interest. Because when you start taking funds and financial favors from the government, you will not report about them in honesty. I'll give you an example. रूडा, अब रूडा एक नया शहर बनाया जा रहा है शेखुपुरा और लाहौर के साथ, जहाँ पे किसानों से उनकी ज़मीन छीन के, और ये पिछली हुकूमत भी कर रही थी और ये हुकूमत भी कर रही है, ज़मीन छीन के वो वहाँ पे टावर्स बना रहे हैं जहाँ पे पता नहीं ड्रोन से डिलीवरीज होंगी और पता नहीं क्या हाईटेक चीज़ें होंगी वहाँ पे अमीरों के लिए, राइट? आपने गरीबों से लेके ज़मीन आप अमीरों को हाई स्टोरी बिल्डिंग्स बना के दे रहे हैं इन्वेस्टमेंट के लिए। वहाँ पे आपने ज़्यादातर रिपोर्टिंग देखी है, बहुत कम होती है, बहुत कम। क्यों? एंड आई फाउंड दिस वेरी प्रॉब्लमैटिक दैट अ लॉट ऑफ जर्नलिस्ट हैव बीन ऑफर्ड लैंड इन रूडा। ये पिछली जो इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट थी उन्होंने भी किया, और ये इस वक्त भी जो पंजाब गवर्नमेंट है वो भी कर रहे हैं। अब आप जमीन ले लेंगे रूडा पे, तो आप रूडा पे रिपोर्टिंग तो नहीं करेंगे। सो दैट इज व्हाट इज आई थिंक। एंड देन अगर आप पंजाब गवर्नमेंट से एंडाउमेंट फंड ले लेंगे तो फिर आप सवाल तो नहीं पूछेंगे कि ये जो आपने इतने बड़े बड़े इश्तिहार लगाए हुए और बिलबोर्ड्स लगाए हैं, इसका पैसा जो है वो कितना खर्च कर रहे हैं आप? ये तो सरकारी पैसे है ना, मतलब इट्स पब्लिक फंड। हाउ मच आर यू स्पेंडिंग ऑन देम? एंड आई थिंक because it is difficult for people right now to trust journalists. कुछ हमारी गलतियां हैं, कुछ हमें इस तरह विलिफाई भी किया गया है, but it's important to keep an eye out and to ensure that they are still journalists who are doing a fantastic job despite the pressure. अभी भी सहाफ़ी हैं जो चाहे गर्मी हो, चाहे सर्दी हो, चाहे बम ब्लास्ट हो, चाहे जलजिला आ जाए, वो जाते हैं, उन्होंने बाहर जाके उन्होंने रिपोर्ट करना होता है। They're still journalists who are being targeted on social media by state organizations, by state actors, and who are still speaking for the truth. So it's important to keep your eye on them rather than completely vilifying the entire industry and say ये तो सब ही ऐसे हैं।
But ऐसी रिपोर्टिंग जो है increasingly लगता है पाकिस्तान में कम हो रही है, at least like to my eye, कि we don't have as much investigative reporting on issues of governance, कि education के issues हो गए, health के issues हो गए, especially in the electronic media, the focus is just on कौन किससे बात कर रहा है, कौन किससे नाराज है। Like, not saying those are not important issues, political issues are important, but do you think हमारा journalism का focus कुछ ज़्यादा ही on the politicking in Islamabad है, and is that what the viewers want? Is that what they respond to?
I think there is a need. एक तो financial crunch रहा है media industry पे, and I think that is something we cannot completely discount. एक financial crunch है. In all media organizations, private media organizations in Pakistan, it's difficult for you to get the funds that you need to do it. Investigative pieces ऐसे नहीं होते कि आज बैठ के मैं कल कर लूँ. These are things that take months and you need resources, you need to travel to places, you need to go, and उस किस्म के resources आजकल नहीं है media organizations के पास. So that is one thing that restricts journalists from pursuing some of the stories. Plus, you know, also because of financial crunch, you see कि newspapers में इतने pages भी नहीं हैं जितने पहले होते थे, उस किस्म के editions नहीं आती हैं, उस किस्म के magazines नहीं हैं अब आपके पास जिस तरह पहले होते थे, in which you can do those feature reporting. But I do feel that it is still happening. I think it is happening, and I think it's happening more independently. Where you have a lot of journalists who've turned to YouTube. You have a lot of journalists who've turned to social media, who are turning to digital platforms to report on this, who are just using Twitter and social media to ensure this kind of information gets out. I do feel like there is a need for more investigative journalism, but in this current environment, maybe it's a little difficult. But there's still journalists who are doing that. And political news is important, you know. I think the conversation that needs to happen in newsrooms is that how do you target a larger audience of people? How do you make sure you present that news to them in a way they want to read it? And I think this is a conversation that's happening internationally.
Yeah.
कि हम ऐसी क्या खबरें करें that women want to read, you know, younger women want to read, or older women want to read. The audience for our media organization has always been men. Over 50 or 60, you know, who जो अभी भी अखबार पढ़ते हैं उन्हीं पे फोकस है कि वो क्या पढ़ना चाहेंगे. You're not focusing on what people, you know, who are the younger generation, what they might want to read, what women might want to read.
It's a global problem, like you said.
Yeah, but I think that conversation is really not happening locally. And that needs to. I mean, मेरी एक argument रही है कि social media के बारे में जो stories होती हैं, generally they do really well. Because younger people want to read about them. You know, AI में क्या हो रहा है, social media पे क्या हो रहा है. So those are things that I think that we need to, that conversation needs to happen, and you also need to have more women voices on TV and in print, and you need to make a consistent effort to make sure that more women are represented.
Do you feel, because you've mentioned a few times about, you know, how कैसे media democratize हो गया है, because of this kind of social media disruption, it's not, at least not all the control is kind of with these elite kind of boys clubs anymore who may own channels or newspapers. लोगों के पास अब access है social media का. But because you work in fact checking, do you think social media का एक वो angle भी है कि people just consume, you know, there's a bias to what the algorithm shows you. So you're just consuming the content you want to see instead of actually consuming facts?
That is there. It's there globally. That is how social media is created in a way that it amplifies this kind of very misogynistic, sometimes very racist, sometimes sort of hate speech. So that is there. But I think that even then, we tend to focus on the negative of the social media more than on the positive. And in a country like Pakistan, जहाँ पे पहले ही इतनी ज़्यादा censorship है, इतना pressure है जिस पे सहाफ़ी काम करते हैं, social media, I would say again, is such an important tool. And क्योंकि हुकूमत और रियासत का तो काम है वो उसको विलिफाई करेंगे क्योंकि वो चाहते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हम ऐसे कवानीन लाएं कि इसको हम बंद ही कर लें, अपने कंट्रोल में रख लें. But it is a very important tool. There are so many journalists that you will talk to today who will tell you कि जो हम रिपोर्ट पब्लिश नहीं करवा सके थे वो हमने सोशल मीडिया पे ट्वीट कर दी या हमने यूट्यूब पे अपने वीलॉग पे बता दी. The point is to get the information out. Yes, there is a responsibility, our responsibility personally. एक अदारों का या रियासत का काम नहीं है कि वो रेगुलेट करे मीडिया. हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है that we ensure that we double, triple check the information before we put it out. And देखो हम भी इंसान हैं, हमसे भी गलतियां होती हैं. If you get something wrong, admit it. That might actually increase the trust in the media more than not admitting it and moving on. I mean, I'll give you an example. मैं एक दफ़ा, and I very openly want to, I can say this. I was sitting in a live transmission. पंजाब असेंबली में कोई प्रोसीडिंग्स हो रही थी, लाइव ट्रांसमिशन था. तो मैंने एक ट्वीट पढ़ी जो मुझे लगा कि डेप्यूटी स्पीकर की तरफ से है. मैंने वो पढ़ दी ऑन है. मैंने कही देखें डेप्यूटी स्पीकर साहब जो हैं वो अभी ये कह रहे हैं. That was a fake account. And I read it and it went on air. And then we went on a break, and I think after an hour or half an hour we came back on air and I realized that it's a fake account. And I made it a point to go on air and say this was my fault. I read it from a fake account. Then I also went on my Twitter account and then I made sure that I write this, that this was something that was my mistake and I admit it. And that has happened to me. It's not the first time. It has happened to me a couple of times. But
and
the
that just
point
adds
is
to your
not,
credibility.
but
I
that
feel,
the point, it adds to the industry's credibility,
Yeah.
which is something that we need to do. Yes, I got this wrong. It was my fault. Sometimes, you just make a mistake. Sometimes you think you've checked something a couple of times, but even then you might get it wrong. Because, and one of the reasons, and I know this has been talked about a lot in the media, कि वो editor का जो एक level होता था, वो काफी हद तक media organizations में जो है वो कम हो गया है. And that editor का काम ही होता था to make sure that you verify everything before you put it out. Make sure you go over everything before you do that. So I still think that, I think there's some of it, there's disinformation, yes. Which is also why we need more fact-checking departments in more media organizations. We need more independent fact-checking departments as well to ensure that people get the right news. But I always feel like the facts always eventually in the end outweigh the disinformation.
And the fact-checking that you had at Geo, if I'm not wrong, it's one of the few organizations that has a dedicated fact-checking kind of department that has its own social media. You see a lot of those in like the US, for example. There's PolitiFact, there's things like that.
Yeah, Reuters, AFP.
But so that's how did that start, and is that getting good reception? Are people really interested in facts, या वो बस जो सुनना चाहते हैं वो सुनना चाहते हैं?
पहले तो we're not the only one, and I think that will be unfair to say. There's Soch Fact Tech, which is doing a great job. I know that Dawn has also started something, and they're also doing some really good work. It is something that started about 2-3 years ago, and again it was my organization. It was not something that I came up with. It was them. They were pushing me since a while, and I was like, I don't know, this is a big responsibility to make sure you always get every fact right. What if I make a mistake? And they were pushing me, and they said, you need to do this, you need to get a team together, and you don't find fact checkers, really. You don't find people who can use these tools that you need. So it was difficult. Then we spent about a year or so training. I was learning myself. I'm still learning because the tools keep changing. आजकल AI है, AI को fact check करना होता है, which is not easy. So it's a continuously learning process. But as for the reception, I would say it has been a really good reception. I mean, we've got a good response from people. People are interested in finding out. We make sure. The problem is that we have to really make sure that the information is 100% accurate, and that takes time. अब disinformation जो होती है और जिसको हम fake news कहते हैं या misinformation होती है, वो तो इतनी तेजी से फैलती है कि by the time you're fact checking it, that information has probably reached millions of people, that disinformation has reached. But I still feel like our job is important because in the long run, when you are searching up that topic, you will be able to find that fact check and you'll be able to know that this was the right information and this was the wrong information. But I still feel like we're a very small organization where what we can do, itni zyada disinformation hai on social media, we can't do everything. So we have to be very careful about which stories you pick. That is why there's a need for more media organizations to do this.
So we've kind of I think jumped around the topic of censorship, but I really want to get into it. How do you feel like as in your everyday work, कितना आपको एक तो self censorship होती है, वो कितना you feel like you face, or state censorship where the state is actually telling you or putting pressure on you? How much of that are you experiencing these days?
The pressure is not really on individual journalists, it's more on the organizations they work for. And if you're an independent journalist, then it is on the channel that you're, जैसे अगर आपका YouTube channel है, तो वो उसको बंद कर देंगे. आप पे पीका पे कोई केस हो जाएगा. The red lines, देखो, have always been there in media. There are certain things, military, religion, पहले courts होती थी, judges. There were certain things that you knew that you had to figure out ways to report on them without being too direct because वो फिर story नहीं छपेगी. Those red lines have increased a lot. And I do feel like right now the regime that is in power right now is overly sensitive about how it is portrayed. So that is always there. You have to find ways to report on it. You still, because that is your primary responsibility. I remember जब ये यूक्रेन की जंग शुरू हुई थी अभी, तो Committee to Protect Journalists, they came out with a statement and they said that when you silence a country's journalists, you silence its people. So there's a direct link between democracy and media and the state of media. When you start taking away the media's freedom, you start taking away the people's freedom, the freedom to expression, the freedom to speech, the right to information. So that is why we also, the media is considered the fourth pillar of democracy, because हम पे इतनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी है that we need to fulfill. So regardless of the pressure, you need to find ways. And I think, again, I'm going to say the social media is such an important tool till we have it. जब तक Twitter दोबारा बंद नहीं कर देते, till we have it, I think it's an important tool to make sure that that information reaches the people.
एंड ट्विटर जो सिर्फ मतलब इतनी देर से ब्लॉक था और फिर इंडिया के साथ जंग हुई और ट्विटर खुल गया,
Without explanation.
Yeah, what does this say about the kind of the type of censorship or control that we're living
What
through?
does this say about the people who shut and open Twitter without an explanation, like their mindset? What does it say about them? It tells you that they don't really understand social media. They don't know what it is. उनको लगता है बस बंद हो जाएगा तो सारी information, वो जैसे होता था ना पहले कि आप अखबार बंद कर दोगे तो कोई खबर बाहर नहीं निकलेगी, टीवी बंद कर दोगे तो कोई खबर बाहर निकलेगी, वो अब होता नहीं है. They don't really understand, I think, the 21st century and how information works and how you can still get information out.
Yeah.
उनको लगता है ट्विटर बंद कर देंगे तो बस सब कुछ बंद हो जाएगा, मैं लोगों के पास VPN है.
Yeah.
There's always some way or the other. But it's a sad state of affair. It's a sad state of affair that एक tweet, like इतनी oversensitive है ये regime के एक tweet, what is it, 180 characters?
Yeah.
उससे आपको इतना खौफ आता है कि आप पूरा का पूरा प्लेटफॉर्म बंद कर देते हैं.
But वो खौफ एकदम से चला कैसे गया है?
I think I would assume, I would not know, but I would assume that there was an understanding कि जब ये जंग चल रही थी इंडिया के साथ, कि वहाँ पे जो था वहाँ पे because ट्विटर भी खुला हुआ था और मीडिया भी उनकी बहुत बड़ी है हमारी मीडिया से, so वो they were building the narrative according to their own designs. So I think the अंडरस्टैंडिंग ओवर हेयर वॉज कि हमें भी सोशल मीडिया खोल देना चाहिए ताकि हम उनके नैरेटिव का मुकाबला कर सकें, एंड प्लस हम लोग मीम्स भी बहुत अच्छी बना रहे थे. And so I think that is maybe what the thinking was, कि we should let the free flow of information, because अभी तो हम पे तनकीद नहीं होगी, because you know everyone's with us. So let them, हमारी तरफ से भी कोई narrative building होनी चाहिए.
Let's hope it stays that way, that it stays open.
Yes.
Let's see for how long. I want to talk a little bit about PICA, because you've mentioned it a few times. Just for our viewers, it's the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act. It was initially passed in 2016.
Yes.
And then amended in 2024.
Yes, a big gift by PMLN to us. Yes.
So how are, because you've mentioned, and we know journalists are being persecuted under it, really. So can you tell our viewers, just for their context, you know, actuality mein, how is it playing out, the implementation of the law?
You know what is so dangerous about this amendment? PICA was a law that I never supported. Because वो कहते थे, जब शुरू में भी आया था ना 2016 में, तब अनुषा रहमान साहिबा होती थी मुस्लिम लीग नून की IT मिनिस्टर, तब भी कहा जाता था अच्छा बहाना हर वक्त यही होता है ना, ख़वातीन के लिए हम ला रहे हैं, बच्चों की हिफाजत के लिए हम ला रहे हैं. असल मकसद तो कुछ और होता है. मकसद तो यही होता है ना कि आवाज़ें जो डिसेंट है उसको आप बंद करो. इस बार जो उन्होंने पीका में तरमीम की है, एंड आई फील दिस इज अ वेरी डेंजरस ट्रेंड दैट वी सीइंग, कि आम शहरी भी जो है ना वो पीका इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं एक दूसरे के खिलाफ. एंड आई थिंक you will see an exponential rise in the cases of PICA. It's not just going to be about journalists. It's going to be about common citizens. अब जैसे कोई एक केस था जहाँ पे एक कोई खातून थी जिनका मेरे ख्याल से मुश्किलों से शायद कोई 10 फॉलोअर्स थे ट्विटर पे, उन्होंने कोई रियासत के बारे में कोई ऐसी कोई ट्वीट कर दी, उनके खिलाफ पीका का केस. अब 10 फॉलोअर्स पे वो क्या ही वो इन्फॉर्मेशन फैलाएंगी. एक भाई था, उसका कोई मेरे ख्याल से कोई शायद प्रॉपर्टी का झगड़ा था, उन्होंने एक दूसरे पे पीका कर दिया. उस दिन वुकला जो थे उन्होंने उनके ऊपर पीका का केस हो गया. सो सहाफ़ियों पे तो होता रहता था, सियासतदानों पे भी होता रहता था, बट अब जो है हम देख रहे हैं कि नाउ इट्स बीइंग यूज्ड बाय द कॉमन सिटीजन टू सेटल स्कोर्स, एंड इट्स गोना टर्न इनटू अ विच हंट. एंड व्हाट आई विल टेल यू इज, व्हिच आई फाइंड इट रियली interesting and very, very concerning. अभी आई वॉज वर्किंग ऑन अ स्टोरी कि सहाफ़ियों को तो टारगेट करते ही थे और वो आपके ऊपर पीका का केस कर देते थे। अब वो क्या कर रहे हैं कि जो सहाफ़ियों के आसपास भी लोग हैं उन पे भी पीका का केस करें। आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जांपल। असद तूर, ही इज़ अ जर्नलिस्ट, वेल नोन जर्नलिस्ट, उनका आपने बैंक अकाउंट फ्रीज कर दिया, ठीक है, FIA ने। फिर
और
उसके
ये वो
बाद
कर सकते हैं विद जस्ट नॉट, अभी आप दिस इज अंडर द लॉ,
this is under, you tell me. I don't know. They went and they froze his bank account without giving him an explanation, without sending him a notice. Then they froze the bank accounts of people. Asad को शौक है, he gets these exotic birds and parrots and all. उनके भी बैंक अकाउंट्स बंद कर दिए। जहां से उन्होंने तोते खरीदे उनके बैंक अकाउंट्स फ्रीज कर दिए। These poor men who sell birds.
yeah,
Then they froze the bank accounts of his family members. सेम थिंग हैपन विद मतीउल्लाह जान, कि उनके खिलाफ केस करने के बजाय उनकी बीवी और बहन के बैंक अकाउंट्स फ्रीज कर दिए। सो दिस इज द काइंड ऑफ एन एनवायरनमेंट दैट we're staying in. I'll give you another example of पीका and how dangerous it is becoming. लाहौर में एक दिन में उन्होंने कोई 22-23 FIRs की एक दिन में। अब वो FIRs निकालने, वो एक कॉपी पेस्ट है। मैं अपने दोस्त के साथ बैठा हुआ था, मेरे 2 दोस्त थे, कभी 3 नहीं होते, कभी 5 नहीं होते, कभी 1 नहीं होता, हर वक्त 2 दोस्त होते हैं। मैं 2 दोस्तों के साथ बैठा हुआ था, मैं सोशल मीडिया देख रहा था और वजीर आला पंजाब के खिलाफ ये किसी ने ट्वीट की, पीका। मैं बैठा हुआ था और इस्टेब्लिशमेंट के खिलाफ किसी ने ये ट्वीट की, पीका। एंड 23 पीका केसेस, FIRs in one day in just लाहौर। सो कैन यू इमेजिन कि ये कितना ज़्यादा ये फैलेगा? बिकॉज और आपने फॉर इंस्टेंस पीका में डाल दिया है कि फेक न्यूज़ नहीं फैला सकते, लेकिन आपने बताया नहीं है कि फेक न्यूज़ है क्या। यू हैव नॉट डिफाइंड इट। सो आई कैन एक्यूज यू एंड से आप फेक न्यूज़ फैला रही हैं। अब आप अदालतों में चक्कर लगाती रहेंगी ये साबित करने के लिए कि मैं तो ये फेक न्यूज़ क्या है जो आप कह रही हैं, या ये मैं फेक न्यूज़ नहीं थी। आपको वकील भी करना पड़ेगा, आपको पैसे भी खर्च करने पड़ेंगे। हो सकता है मैं आपका केस कराची में लगा दूं, आपने कराची भी जाना पड़ेगा आपको, एंड हु नोज हाउ द केस इज गोना टर्न आउट। इट इज हरासमेंट। सो पीका विल बी यूज्ड simply to harass politicians, to harass journalists, to harass people who are dissenting voices in this country.
and why is the state so insecure in Pakistan, especially now? Because like you said, 10 लोग 10 followers से उनका क्या जाना है? Is it to kind of scare the entire public into के ना आप protest करें, ना आप कोई अपना freedom of speech का right exercise करें? What is the thinking?
I think it's this regime is overly sensitive कि दुनिया में उनका image क्या जाता है। There's a lot of interest right now कि हम बाहर से investment लाना चाहते हैं, अच्छा image होना चाहिए हमारा दुनिया में, and rather than fixing these things, you are trying कि इसके बारे में खबर ही ना निकले बाहर। And I think that is what is the issue. As far as social media is concerned, वो उनके कंट्रोल में नहीं है। मीडिया तो आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हो ना आजकल, फिर भी कुछ हद तक उनको कहोगे हम बंद कर देंगे आपका न्यूज़ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, सहाफ़ी को उठा के ले जाएंगे, उस पर केस कर देंगे, उसको बंद कर देंगे जेल के अंदर। सोशल मीडिया अभी आप पे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, एंड दिस गवर्नमेंट एंड द प्रीवियस वन एज वेल, लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट, वांटेड कंट्रोल ऑफ सोशल मीडिया। आई एम श्योर अगर वो भी अब इस वक्त इक़्तिदार में होते तो वो भी यही कर रहे होते, बिकॉज कंट्रोल चाहिए है सोशल मीडिया का। हम जो चाहते हैं वही खबर छपेगी, एंड दैट यू कांट कंट्रोल विद सोशल मीडिया।
And how, like you said, that journalism is a very integral, free journalism and free press is an integral pillar of any democracy. तो ये जो हम kind of देख रहे हैं कि you know journalists को suppress किया जा रहा है, freedom of speech के जो rights हैं constitutional उनको repress किया जा रहा है, इसका overall और slow kind of long term impact क्या होगा पाकिस्तान की democracy पे?
Obviously, I'm sure you know the answer as well. It's not going to be good. आप suppress कर ही नहीं सकते. Eventually, at some point, you can't completely suppress all these voices, especially in this time period, जब 21st century where information still gets out. गुस्सा ही बढ़ेगा आवाम में, और रियासत के खिलाफ बढ़ेगा, हुकूमत के खिलाफ बढ़ेगा। फिर आप क्या करेंगे इलेक्शन में? हो सकता है वो अभी से मेरे ख्याल से इन जो 2 सियासी जमातें इस वक्त जो इक़्तिदार में, उन्होंने शायद पहले से फैसला कर लिया कि अगला इलेक्शन हम वोट से तो नहीं जीतेंगे, हमें पता है, तो हम कहीं और से ही अपनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी बना लेते हैं। लॉन्ग रन तो यही होगा। आई थिंक I don't want to look at the long run, and I want to look at right now. And I feel disappointed again that there is such lack of resistance. एक false sense of hope है, insecurity है. जब आप सिविल सोसाइटी में बात करें, कुछ लोगों से, सहाफ़ियों से बात करें, वुकला से भी बात करें कि अभी मौका नहीं है रेजिस्ट करने का, बाद में जाके कर लेंगे, कभी ना कभी. देखिए मुशर्रफ के दौर में भी तो हमें बाद में मिल ही गया था ना मौका. And there is no guarantee. My argument is there is no guarantee कि वो मौका आएगा. You don't know what's going to happen. Right now, this government with this regime is changing your constitution. They have 2/3 of majority, जो उनको अभी सेनेट के इलेक्शन में भी मिल जाएगी. They can pass anything, any law, any changes to the constitution. By the time जिसका आप इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि वो मौका आएगा तो हम resist करेंगे, it might be too late. There might be nothing to fight for. So I do feel like, and again, there are journalists who turn to me and say, journalist का काम नहीं होता activism करना. Journalist का काम, I disagree. Journalist का काम होता है activism, but you do it with facts. And I think the Nobel Prize winner, the journalist who won, she also said the same thing. She said you have to resist, but you resist with facts. Because media is such an important part of democracy. आपका काम है when you see कि कोई जमहूरी निज़ाम को कमज़ोर कर रहा है, you have to resist. Again, this is my personal opinion. And I think that it is important for the civil society, for जो जितनी भी जमहूरी पसंद आवाज़ें हैं मुल्क में, for the lawyers, for the media to come together and to resist. And I will say this right now. I haven't said this before, but I will say it. I think we missed a big opportunity. The media, the civil society. When the judges, ये जो 6 judges है इस्लामाबाद हाई कोर्ट के, जब इन्होंने खत निकाला और कहा कि हम पे दबाव डाला जा रहा है, they openly said it. And they named who was pressurizing them. And then district court से judges उठे, which was quite unprecedented. And they named the cases जिस पे दबाव डाला जा रहा है. And then you had judges from other high courts. I think that was a great opportunity. That was an important opportunity for the civil society, for the media, for the lawyers to come together, and especially for the media, and to say कि हम पे भी दबाव डाला जा रहा है. We also are navigating increasing censorship. That was the time to come together. But we missed that opportunity.
You're right. That was there was no kind of rallying around that. या उस news को भी शायद coverage तो मिली, but in a sensational way, not in a really kind of analytical, investigative way. It's really a sad state of affairs. जैसे आपने भी कहा कि बस लगता है कि everyone has kind of accepted. आजकल भी जो बात होती है वो यही होती है कि हाइब्रिड रजीम है, इसको एक्सेप्ट कर लेना ही चाहिए, इसके अलावा कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है अभी पाकिस्तान की स्टेबिलिटी के लिए, यही एक रास्ता है, एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. एंड नाउ वी इवन हेयरिंग कॉन्वर्सेशंस अबाउट के फर्दर एक कोई लीगल कवर या कोई काइंड ऑफ फॉर्मलाइजेशन हो इस हाइब्रिड रजीम की. कैन यू टेल अस व्हाट यू आर हेयरिंग अबाउट दैट, और हाउ यू सी हाउ डेंजरस ऑफ further of a danger that is?
You know, I would not have any inside information. There is talk of a 27th amendment. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but logic shows that the trajectory is this. कि और हमारे मुल्क में जैसे होता है ना कि एक हाइब्रिड निज़ाम नहीं चला तो थिंकिंग ये है कि दूसरा चला लेते हैं, वो चल जाएगा, दूसरा नहीं चलेगा तो चले इस तरह करते हैं, तीसरा ले आते हैं. So there seems to be no retreat from this until you push back. And I think that is what is still missing. You're absolutely right. We have normalized this hybrid regime. And as journalists, and I argue this with a couple of my colleagues, that we need to constantly be reminding people that this is not a normal state of affairs. Your constitution does not allow a hybrid system. या तो मुझे दिखा दें कि कहाँ लिखा हुआ है. Just because politicians these days wear it as a, not just these days, in the previous government as well, wear it as a badge of honor, doesn't mean it's normal for the establishment to be involved in everything involving governance in this country. कहीं नहीं लिखा आपके आइन में. अगर वो आइन तब्दील भी कर देंगे, even then you want to या तो आप फैसला कर लेना कि हम जमहूरी मुल्क बनना ही नहीं चाहते. We don't want parliamentary democracy in this country.
Choose a path.
So choose a path and then stick to it.
Yeah.
So you need to constantly remind people, even if they make changes to the constitution, that this is not the country we want. This is not the trajectory that we want to go into. And I think that is why it's important कि इस वक्त इतनी ज़्यादा polarization है. I know it's a word that's thrown around a lot, but it's there. In the lawyer community, you see it in the media and between journalists, you see it in the civil society as well sometimes. And I think that polarization needs to be bridged. And क्योंकि हम चार्टर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी की बात करते हैं कि सहाफ़ियों को सियासतदानों को मिल बैठ के एक चार्टर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी बनाना चाहिए जैसे पहले बनाया था, बिल्कुल. But I also feel like the civil society in our country needs to come up with a charter of demands and put it out there and say that this is what we need and we do not agree with this direction that we're taking.
It seems like we've kind of gone into a apologist type situation, you know, like especially I want you to address the economy wala angle that is used a lot कि economy को stability की ज़रूरत है और stability के लिए अभी कुछ साल ऐसे गुजार लें फिर उसके बाद you know democracy will come to that later.
The same thing. What is your later?
Yeah.
What by the time you reach your later, क्या हो चुका होगा? We don't know. I'm not like an economist, and I wouldn't be the right person to answer this question. But also, what also is tragic, and I think is unfortunate right now, is कि दुनिया में भी हम ये trend देख रहे हैं, where people are moving away from the talk of human rights, and you have these populist, authoritarian people like Donald Trump, who are in power, who don't care about human rights.
Yeah,
and
100%.
also the precedents that are being set, जैसे गाजा में जो सेट हुआ है, उसकी वजह से भी it's easier for authoritative mindsets in countries like ours to use it as an excuse and say देखिए अमेरिका में भी तो हो रहा है तो हम भी कर रहे हैं, वो भी अपने इमिग्रेंट्स निकाल रहे हैं तो हम भी अपने अफगान रेफ्यूजीज को निकाल देते हैं. So that it gives you an excuse. But again, that is not our job. And I do want to emphasize though, the importance, because I was talking about Gaza right now, the importance of independent media. I think Gaza has proven how important independent media is. अगर हमारे पास अल जज़ीरा नहीं होता, अगर हमारे पास सोशल मीडिया नहीं होता, हमें नहीं पता चलता कि गाजा में किस किस्म के वॉर क्राइम्स, किस किस्म का जेनोसाइड हो रहा है, because the international media world over had turned a blind eye to it. So that is, again, it shows and it underscores how important independent journalists and independent voices are in a country that is facing this kind of an onslaught.
I think in our country also we often, like as regular citizens, हम realize नहीं करते कि कितनी चीज़ें हमें मीडिया के थ्रू पता चल रही हैं जो हमें लिटरली नहीं पता चलती. इवन नेशनल असेंबली का सेशन हो रहा है, उसमें क्या हो रहा है, या यू नो लाइक every kind of small bit of information, someone is working hard to get that to the public.
And it's easy, right? Yeah. It's easy for politicians to say, ye fake news phailate, and just kind of leave the room. And then you as a journalist then have to defend yourself and say, no, this is not fake news. I'll give you an example. Kitni ye cleverly disinformation फैलाते हैं. एक खबर चली थी कि जिना इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कार्डियोलॉजी का नाम तब्दील करके मरियम नवाज इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कार्डियोलॉजी बना रहा है, एंड मीडिया में चली. एंड जो हमारी सीनियर मिनिस्टर हैं पंजाब में, उन्होंने आके कहा ये बिल्कुल गलत खबर है, ऐसा हमारा कोई प्लान नहीं था, ये देखें बजट डॉक्यूमेंट. एंड आई कैन टेल यू ऑन गुड अथॉरिटी दैट वी स्पोक टू 2 senior ministers in Punjab who admitted that this was the plan. They were going to change the name because social media पे इतना outrage हुआ कि उन्होंने कहा कि अच्छा हम कहते हैं हमने तो करना ही नहीं था. बट अगेन इट्स, आपने कंफ्यूजन फैला दी ना. नाउ पीपल डोंट नो वाज इट एक्चुअली ट्रू, क्या वाकई में मीडिया झूठ बोल रही थी या वाकई में हुकूमत सच बोल रही है. आपने कंफ्यूजन, सो इट्स दैट्स हाउ दे नेविगेट. सो अगेन एंड आई फेल्ट इन दैट, आई केप्ट सेइंग दैट वी नीड टू कॉन्स्टेंटली रिमाइंड पीपल दैट दिस देयर lying, this is false information. They were planning to change the name, but they decided, because वो हमारे colleague हैं उमर चीमा साहब, उन्होंने ट्विटर पे जाके he raised this issue, then there was an outrage, social media पे politicians got involved, so then they backtrack. So yeah, I mean, it's important to constantly be raising these issues, regardless, environmental ho, education ho. These are issues that constantly, and pressure works.
And it's interesting that sometimes this, or a lot of the times, the state itself is an agent of misinformation and disinformation.
A lot of time.
But
A
they're
lot of
constantly
time.
attacking journalists and regular citizens for it.
Yeah.
Benazir, it's been a really interesting conversation.
Thank you so much for
I
having
want to
me.
ask you one last question before we, end this. हमने काफी कुछ depressing in some ways बातें कर ली on
Yeah.
state of affairs in Pakistan. What do you think is like, if any, silver linings जो आपको नजर आती हैं पाकिस्तान की civil society में, maybe youth की organizing में, where do we find hope?
Young people. I have two daughters, and I look at them, and I'm really surprised at how well informed the generation is now. Also because they have access to much more information than we used to. हम तो अखबार पढ़ लेते थे, या हम बैठ जाते थे ड्राइंग रूम में तो सुन लेते थे कि क्या बातें हो रही हैं पॉलिटिक्स में. But they have very strong opinions, and I love that. And I think I would say women. I think that there are a lot more women who are coming out in different fields. They have strong opinions. They're well informed. I'm looking towards them. I think men have disappointed us for too long, and I think I can look towards the women. And hopefully there are
Agreed.
more women in the courts. There were more women lawyers. And they're so passionate. You know, you meet these young female lawyers, and I'm so impressed. And these young female journalists, and they're very passionate about what they do. And that's what we need. We need that passion. Not कि बस ऐसे ही चलता रहेगा मुल्क में ऐसे ही होगा. Yeah.
That, I think, really sums it up. Thank you so much for joining us. To our viewers, thank you for joining, and do like, share and subscribe.